Okay, it's time for another podcast. Podcast. Ugh. I never liked that term, podcast. Um, what should I call it instead? I don't know. An audio sampling of a mind sampling via audio. I don't know. I'm going into this blind. Okay, I don't even have a TV theme to lead into it. I'm jumping in blind. Guys. I don't know where it's gonna go. It's like I could bring up a lead in, like hey, how would you like to hear, the theme song to Alf or Who's the Boss or Taxi, any of those old shows. The Doogie Howser. I think I probably used a couple of those already, but yeah, that's the problem. It's like there's only so many really good TV themes that aren't really that popular right now that I could just use because I want to do like for some sort of hipster edge. I want to do more obscure TV themes, but I just really can't think of any right now because there's some themes I don't want to use because they're still as popular today as they were back in the day. But yeah, I was like, well, maybe I should have a different lead-in, or maybe I should just talk the entire time, yeah, without any sound cues or anything like that. I usually put the theme song as a sound cue just to prepare myself for the show, but maybe I shouldn't give myself any preparation. That's probably where the trap lies. That's probably why I can't get anything done. It's probably why there's so few episodes this month, and that's probably why I'm not getting as much work done as I should be, because I'm too busy preparing for it. So, this is Vent with Nick R. Murphy, sans TV theme intro, and will probably be without TV theme outro, maybe. I always pick those on impulse at the end, so it's like I go through my music and like, which one should I use this time? Okay, I'll just use this one. And most of the time I'll just do that. So that's very compulsive, and that's more creative because it's like I'm on, like what I need to get through my fucking thick head. What I need to get through my head is that I work better off the cuff. I can't prepare for jack shit because if I prepare, I'll always be preparing. It's a trap. It's a trap. I just have to jump right in and do it. And for some reason, I have not convinced myself of this fact. So I'm just gonna powerhouse my way through this, and I don't know what the hell I'm gonna be talking about, but we're doing pretty good so far. We're 3 minutes in. All right. Well, let me check my coffee here. I think I was making coffee. I think it's done now. And I suppose I should use this episode as kind of like a, maybe a confession of sorts. I have a confession to make about why I'm not coming out with as many episodes as fast as I would like, and it all boils down to pure laziness, but allow me to explain where this laziness comes from. You see, how I make these podcasts is, I record for about a half hour, a little over. I record for a half hour, and then what I have to do then is take the audio off of my phone, upload it to my computer, open my editing program, and layer the picture that I made, the banner picture that I made for the podcast that just shows on the screen the entire time. I layer that over the audio, and I render it into one big, mock video file. It's just a video file with, a still image with audio in the background, and that's all it is. And you think that it would be, really fast, it would take no time at all. You just have to upload the audio and put the picture over the editing program and then render it. Yeah, that sounds great, yeah. And once I do that, it takes no time to upload to YouTube at all. Like, it takes no time, like 15 minutes tops. But the rendering process prior to uploading to YouTube can take about 4 hours. Why? Like, it takes so long, and there's so much other shit I need to do in between that, and, it's just like, gotta wait. It's like a total waiting game to get this thing uploaded. It's like I'm like right now I'm recording this. It's 2:33 p.m. By the time I finish it, I will I'll immediately put the audio on my computer, or maybe I'll re-listen to it. And I don't like re-listening to the podcast, but sometimes there's audio issues, so I have to listen through it. So about an hour after I hit record, I'll be, roughly an hour after. So like say by 3:30, I'll be putting the audio for this into the computer. And then I open my editing software and I, put the audio in, and then I find the image that I made with this app called PhotoGrid, which is it's not the best photo editing app ever, but it's the best one you can find on the Android marketplace, the Google Play marketplace. So that's that's the best I could do. So I make a poster with that, and with whatever images I find online or whatever. Sometimes I make it before I record it. Most of the times I make it after. I'm going to have to make this one after I record it. And so I just layer that over. And I used to have a very professional editing software. I used to have Sony Vegas. It was like the 2012 edition was the latest one I had. And for some reason, I can't open it anymore. It's like files are like dying out in my computer little by little. I guess it's time to get a new one. But yeah, so now I can't use Sony Vegas to edit my podcast, and if I did, the rendering time would not be no time at all. But since I can't open it, I'm stuck with fucking the pre-installed Windows media editor, video editor thing, and it's terrible. I fucking hate it. It's awful. But that's what I'm stuck with these podcasts. Like, I can't edit anything worth a shit anymore because I don't have the proper equipment. But, maybe one day I will be able to afford the proper software. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Who knows? It's a crapshoot. But, time will tell. Like, if I keep up with this and I put out more videos and I want to get more back into the whole video making game, or, editing shit on YouTube or whatever, like then, maybe I'll start doing skits here in a few months or something. Like, we'll see where it goes. I have no idea where it's going. I'm thinking about starting a vlog, but I don't have the lighting equipment to do that. I do have a pretty sweet background I could do that with, but without the proper lighting, it's just going to look terrible. And most of the time when I'm thinking about doing a vlog, I get a look at myself in the selfie camera, and I'm like, dude, you look like shit. You're not gonna, no. Like, this is not gonna pep people up. This is gonna make people depressed. I'm like, okay. So I need to be clean shaven, or clean-ish shaven. And if I could do something to make my face look a little less fat, but who cares if my face looks fat? I don't care. It's just, I'd be more comfortable if I felt presentable enough, but casually presentable. I don't know. Most of the time I don't feel like I'm casually presentable, so I'm stuck with these fucking podcasts. But I'm sure I look fine. I'm sure it's just a self-consciousness coursing through my mind, which is total bullshit, man. Total bullshit. But so now you know the position I'm in with these the struggle that I have to come up with, the hours of waiting for shit to render when I need to be working on other stuff on the computer, and it's just gonna go, shit just goes slower when I'm rendering this stuff, and I have to be working on other scripts and things like that. And these are just excuses. It's bullshit. I mean, I just haven't been in the groove. I guess I haven't been in the groove to create what I need to create, and that's no good, because if there's any time in my life where I have to produce material, it's now. My work is in demand from clients, and I got growing fan base here slightly. Yeah, I got 9 subscribers on this channel as of this recording, and all I need, guys, is 991 more subscribers so I could monetize my videos, which is like, I'm no intention. Like, if I end up monetizing my YouTube channel, then great. But it's not on the agenda, really. But it'd be sweet, and I could be actively pursuing that absent goal in the background as like a side gig, while doing my main stuff, which is writing scripts and all that jazz, trying to get movies off the ground and all that crap. So what now? What now? Let me think about that. Uh, hmm. Okay, here's another confession. I recorded an episode last week, and I didn't post it. I have a few lost episodes of Vent that I have recorded but never uploaded, because by the time I could get the energy to get on the computer to upload it, it was, like, not relevant anymore. Like, I did a follow-up episode to the previous episode last week, and by the time it was just like, it's, I talked about a lot of old news, so I might upload that as a bonus if I'm willing to wait the extra 4 hours it takes to render it. But I don't know. But that's my confession, guys. There's an episode from last week that none of you heard because I have not uploaded it yet. And why am I uploading this first? Yeah, I guess that's the question. Because it's in the past, and I'm focused on the present. Present. And the present, they call it the present because it's a gift. They call it the present because it's a gift. But, I consider it a cool way to, I consider it a cool way to, maybe promote the channel later on. Where I promise, like, hey, I got Lost episodes coming out. And they fell through the cracks and they ended up going on YouTube. But I'm gonna bring them on. Come on, guys. Bonus episodes, Vent. Yeah, so I'll post those when the demand comes. But yeah, that's my confession there. So, took a little pause there. So the namesake of this show is Vent. Yeah, it's Vent. Which means that I have to vent about what's bothering me. And a lot of shit is bothering me, but I can't isolate it. That's another reason why I don't come up with as many episodes as I would like, because it's in the internet age, we're living in Stimulus City. It's Stimulusville. It's the land of stimuli. It's just like all information all the time. And what I've been wanting to do, but I haven't brought myself to do, what I absolutely must do is give myself a media blackout. A media blackout has a different connotation when it comes to the world of politics and other shit like that. But me personally, I consider a media blackout where I just leave everything alone for a little while. The news, the social media, where any like TV shows or movies I watch, I stop watching all of that shit and just focus on my work. Take what I've absorbed and just focus on work. And I consider this part of my job in a sense, as kind of like as a writer, I have to commentate on the generation in a sense, or the culture. And so now I have to take all the information I have about the culture and just, filter it through my imagination to write scripts and whatnot, and other things. It's just, it's tough, It's like, it's hard to isolate what you're thinking when you're thinking about so much shit all the time, both personally and professionally, because I have a lot of issues in my personal life that, I think we all do. We all have our personal baggage that we have to overcome, and, we gotta soldier on and, move on and all that shit. But then there's the culture outside your personal bubble. There's the pop culture, movies, TV, YouTube, all that jazz. And then there's the world culture where, full of just social issues like racism and gun control, and abortion is on that list. There's a lot of shit on that list. And a lot of it has nothing to do with me personally. So when nothing is really touching me, like the problem, like social problems of the world are not touching me, it's kind of hard to relate. And when it's hard to relate, it's kind of difficult to come up with an opinion. And so it's like I have no opinion. I have no opinion on a lot of this major stuff that's going on, including the whole gun control debate, which reached a fucking tipping point last week because of that school shooting up in Parkland, Florida. And it's like, I think you could relate to that if you go to school now, if you're in high school and stuff. Like, I was in high school when Columbine happened, and the fear was not as palpable as it is now. People are just so fucking scared now. It's like some psycho snapping and shooting up the place. And that's sad. That's sad. It's like the fear has grown, even though the statistics have pretty much remained the same across the board. It's just like when the body count gets higher in these incidences, it calls for a call to action. This Parkland shooting is kind of like how it's becoming like the shooting up in Australia back in the 90s, and it was so bad. It was so bad that they 12 days later they imposed a gun ban in Australia. I don't know what the hell was the name of that shooting. I don't remember. Like I just found out about it recently, thanks to I was watching a comedy special with Jim Jeffries, and he mentioned it. And so after he mentioned it in his stand-up, I did some research, and I'm like, this is like the craziest shooting mass shooting I've ever heard. Like, it was just crazy. It was like a theme park or something or just like a tourist place, or like some sort of I don't know if it was a shopping center. I'm sure there was like stores, of course, if it's a theme park and everything. But wherever this was, it was bad. And this guy knocked off a bunch of people close range with a fucking machine gun. And as a result, gun ban across the board up in Australia. So now with Parkland, America's seemingly going towards that same end, but not without a bunch of right-wing pontificating in the way. That's the big obstacle, because people are responsible gun owners, and guns don't kill people. People kill people, and everyone's reaching a conclusion as far as this. They're either doubling down on the no gun control, that people should be responsible with their weapons, or it's like there needs to be some sort of new legislation in place to quell the psychos who want guns, because apparently if all the people that want guns aren't psychos. Some people just like hunting and shit. I don't know. The only reason I would ever want a gun is for personal protection, and in that case, like, I would really have to need that gun, and I wouldn't want to go through the proper channels, because guns can be tracked, and if you have like a gun that can be tracked, and you need to kill somebody with it, that's not good for you. But I've never found myself in a position where I gotta kill somebody, and I need an unregistered firearm to do so. I've never been in that situation, so and I don't think I ever will. Like, I don't I don't associate with people that need to be shot, thankfully. But it's like, that's the only reason I would think anyone would ever want a gun. Like, I guess hunting's one thing, but I live in Arkansas, so a lot of dudes are really big on hunting. I know a couple guys, and they're really big on the game hunting out in the old Arkansas, and that's a nice good hobby if you want to get away from the media for a while. So maybe In this media blackout, I'll become a game hunter and start learning how to shoot firearms and stuff. That's a good idea. I'm not gonna do it, but that's a good idea. That's an idea. It is an idea. But I did, surprisingly enough, like I was, even after the Vegas shooting, which we hit really close to home. I didn't say like we need more. I wasn't like we need more legislation and shit because it's like if they're gonna kill people, they're gonna kill people. There's a lot of terrorist attacks with trucks nowadays, and that shit always happens in European countries and shit like that because they have gun bans in place. And so, yeah, that shit still happens, and it's still gonna happen with the gun ban. But at least with a new kind of gun ban, it would make kind of a dent. It would have to make them more creative to figure out ways to kill people. But what fucks me up about not all, but most of these shootings, at least in the last two major ones, like the guns are registered to the person who was killing all the people, which gives that argument weight. It's like, why are they using registered firearms to kill everybody? Like if you're gonna do a mass shooting, why wouldn't you get a gun on the black market? Do you not know anybody who can get you a gun on a black market? I mean, I watch movies, so I figure it wouldn't be that hard, but I don't know, I never dug into it myself. But it's like, if you're gonna do a mass shooting, why use a registered firearm, or a firearm that's registered to you? So it occurred to me that maybe if they couldn't get a registered firearm, they couldn't do that shit. Oh, okay, logic is coming in here. Okay, so if we pass legislation stopping mentally ill motherfuckers from getting guns, then maybe it will prevent it. I mean, that's a logical conclusion, right? Maybe. But I'm not in office. I'm not a politician. So maybe I'm totally off base. I'm totally wrong. I mean, in Japan, all you can get is like an air rifle and a shotgun, and those are perfect for hunting. It's like you don't need to knock off deer with an AR-15. It's like they'll ruin the venison. You shoot them a bunch of times, the lead will get into the meat, and ugh. The venison's pretty gamey already. You don't want any more gamey than it already is. Yep. But hey, what? Who am I to say? But it's just shocking to me how the right is trying to stop this. They're saying the kids who witnessed the shooting are being paid off by anti-gun nuts to say the things that they're saying. I don't think they need to be convinced by money to say the things that they are saying. But then there's this other guy who's they call him a Columbine survivor, and he's where the fuck is this? Yeah, Columbine survivor. He's a House Minority Leader now, and he introduced. I'm bringing it up. He introduced. What did he bring? What did he bring to attention here? He introduced legislation allowing concealed carry in schools. What? Yeah, that's another argument. I can't believe this one. It's like they're saying that people should be armed in schools. And I originally saw this. It was a post by Milo Yiannopoulos, or however the fuck you pronounce his last name. A gay Greek dude who's a right-winger. Gay right-winger, which is an oxymoron if there ever was one. If you know Milo Yiannopoulos, he's a textbook troll, and he's very intelligent about it. And he posted an argument online saying that teachers should be armed, and that you should get the veterans off the street and give them custodian jobs and have them be armed. So when a fucking crazy student or former student comes to shoot up the place, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna shoot this guy before he shoots anyone else." And people are down with that. And I'm like, do people realize that guns miss 90% of the time? It's like, they say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. With a gun, you miss 90 of the shots you do take. So, 90% of the shots you miss. That's the law of averages. That's how it works. Because, the human eye isn't a fucking, like, it isn't a line of sight. It's not like a target. You don't have a little target thing. It's like, it's not a sniper scope. The human eye is not a sniper scope. It's just, it's just, ugh. But, I know I'm going off about this gun thing, but I've never been the victim of gun violence myself. So, I'm at a place where it's like, I can't really relate, but I get it. And I believe that, maybe not maybe, no ifs, no, I'm like, nah, twist my arm. I'm like, no, pass the fucking legislation. I don't care. I know a lot of gun nuts will care, but, they think their freedoms are being taken away. But remember, the Second Amendment was written in the time of muskets. Like, our forefathers did not anticipate machine guns back in the day. And the only reason why they put that in the Constitution was to, be used as a weapon if the government became tyrannical. Am I saying all right? Tyrannical. If they impose tyranny, and these motherfuckers raise up and go, hell no, government. Hell no, government. No, I got my gun here. I'll shoot your ass. Yeah, that's how the Second Amendment works. Second Amendment wasn't written so, hey, I want to go home. No, it was to protect the people from corrupt government, and that really doesn't hold water anymore. It doesn't even work anymore, because if the government is trying to oppress the public in an obvious way. I think it's kind of indirect right now, but if it was doing it in an obvious way, like how it do in North Korea or some shit, if the government is opposing you, is oppressing you in an obvious way, that's when you raise arms against the government, and hence the reason why the Second Amendment is a thing. It was a callback to, the founders of America, quote, founders, when they went from Britain to the Americas. It was in reference to that, because they went to America to oppose British rule, and now we have America. Yeah. History lesson. Very paraphrase. Not exactly precise history lesson, but that's the gist of it. That's the gist. Yeah. So, take that, gun nuts. It's not about having fun with your gun. It's about protection from the government. But, apparently the gun nuts are on the government side, saying like, oh, no, we're going, because, we're ruled by the right now, I guess. Yeah, right. And I don't consider myself a bleeding heart liberal by any stretch of the imagination. They get a little too emotional for my taste. But emotions are good when they're directed the right way, and I think they're trying their best to direct their emotions the right way and look at the logic of the situation. And in the gun argument, there's a lot of logic there now, especially with as many mass shootings as there have been over before and since Columbine. They're kind of like, they come out like movies now. They have titles. Like, I knew the title for the Parkland, like Parkland. When you say Parkland now, everyone knows exactly what you're talking about, which is fucked up, because there is a movie called Parkland. I don't remember what it's about. I'm going to look that up right now just to kill some time. Like, there's a movie called Parkland, I believe, that came out a few years back, and, years, people are going to look at it. Is Parkland, is that about the shooting? No, it's not. What is it about? Okay, let me Google that. Okay, what's Parkland movie? I know I'm not making this up. There is a movie called Parkland. Yes. Okay. Yes, it's a thriller from 2013, a drama thriller, Parkland, and I remember this one. Yeah, it was highly critically acclaimed. Yeah, chaotic events take place at Parkland Hospital in Dallas after the attack that assassinated John F. Kennedy. Yeah, so it's about the Kennedy assassination, and it has Zac Efron and Paul Giamatti, Billy Bob Thornton. Man, there's a lot of people in this movie. Wow. And I never watched it. I guess it didn't win any Oscars, so, I hate that. It's like, it wasn't nominated for any Oscars, it must be a nothing movie. I hate, that's like wired logic from when I was a kid. It's like, if a movie's not nominated for any Oscars, it's a piece of shit, right? No, it's not, no. the movies that win Oscars now just campaign for the prize. They're not that much better or worse than any other movie that wasn't nominated. It's just, you're I think if I just follow movies based on the Academy Award nominations they get, I'm kind of being a sheep person. I'm being a sheeple, being part of the sheeple, and I don't want to be part of the sheeple ever. So, but yeah, just a public service announcement, guys. If you run into a movie called Parkland anytime in the future, it's not about the Parkland shooting in Florida. So just to clear that up right now. But it is about another tragic American event in our history. So if you want to bone up on that history, then check out Parkland. I'm sure it's fine. Let's see. It's got a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. But 81% of Google users like this movie. There's a lot of disparity between consensuses here. So I guess it's a semi-above... Like, if you mix them all together, it's a semi-above average movie, right? Great. All right. Sorry, I had to take a phone call. Oh boy. Well, we're at the. I'm sure this is the end of the tether here. I've been rambling on. But guns are bad. I guess is the conclusion that I've come to. Like, guns are. I wouldn't have one in my house, I guess, but, it's not like the bullets just jump out randomly. There are a lot of safety precautions that go into that, which feeds into the gun nut argument. And I see where they're coming from, but, I posted this comment on someone's post about whatever, like a meme about, gun violence, and I'm like, you know what? Just fucking ban them. Just ban them. Because I'd rather see butthurt gun owners as opposed to butthurt gun victims, And that's really the conclusion I came to. Is like, just ban the fucking things. Like, I'm doing alright without them. They're really cool in movies, but, they can still be in movies. It's not, it's like, just because they ban guns in real life doesn't mean that they're not going to be in your favorite action movies still. And and I really I'm starting to have a bone to pick about gun violence in movies too, not because of the excessiveness of it or anything like that, but the fact is, it's just, it's so sensationalized. It's sensationalized like crazy. I watched this movie a couple weeks ago called Free Fire, and it has Brie Larson from Room and Winklevi, the guy who played Winklevi, Armie Hammer, and what's his face from District 9. Oh, I can't remember his fucking name. Oh, it's gonna come to me. But there were a lot of actors in the movie. Sharlto Copley. There we go. Sharlto Copley. He was in that, and I liked the movie. It was entertaining as hell. But they were shooting guns throughout the entire fucking movie. They're shooting guns at each other, bam, 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 back and forth, and they're all in this warehouse, and it's just like this. Playground for fireworks, and it's really fun. It's a fun movie, but what bothered me about it is like, okay, everybody's shooting guns at each other. Not one person is complaining about hearing loss. There's no tinnitus going on here. Like I'm just thinking, everyone's getting shot in this thing, and yeah, they're acting like they kind of got shot, I guess, but it was just such a movie. Like, when you see gun violence like that in a movie, it's just such a movie. It doesn't have, like, and I would like to see that in the basis of reality, where it's like, oh my god, my ears! You shot a gun next to my head, my ears! And there's more of that going on in movies now, which is good. There's more about the reality of, the real effect of guns, and that sucks. Like, the reality... Like, if you're in the same room with a gunshot, you're gonna get the bing, like, and I like how movies are kind of doing it now. But Free Fire was an old school movie, so it didn't trifle about that bullshit. But there's a sea change coming as far as gun violence in movies is concerned, not just because of its extravagance or its glorification, just because it's like it needs to be more grounded in reality, because that shit's real. It could get really real, really soon. But that's just, I'm no Nostradamus. I can't predict the future, but I can give some conjecture as far as that goes. But yeah, that's I'm gonna end this show. I'm gonna end the show, and I'm gonna scroll through my music and find a decent song to end things on. Why not? All right, this is Vent, guys. I hope you had fun. I'll try to bring out more episodes later. Sweet. See ya. And before I end, today is February 21st, 2018. I should have said that at the beginning, but I'm saying it at the end. Whatever. Deal with it.